Arthur, you're just gonna have to use a lot of this as our cold open because this is all pretty good. I'll intro now.
I love a cold open.
Welcome everyone to the Sickos podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of April 9th, 2024. I hope the clouds fucked off for all of you who are listening. For some of us it did, for some of us it didn't. We'll get to that first. As always, I'm Jordan. With me tonight, I've got Commish, Pitt Girl, Andrew, Arthur on the ones and twos, and Beth will be here after she's done honking. Arthur, how are you, sir? I know.
Oh, damn, you're putting me on the spot. You don't usually do this.
I
mean, I'm so tired because I was in Philly over the weekend for a wedding, and then my whole family rushed back, and we way overshot Pittsburgh because of the eclipse. We ended up in a place called Roundhead, Ohio.
Okay.
And they named it after the Native American chief they stole the land from.
Jesus Christ.
Up. They're literally
nice
right where we saw the eclipse. There was a big plaque that basically was well, he sided with the British in the War of 1812, so it's ours now.
That would have stopped them. Absolutely would have stopped them.
Yeah, dude just picked the wrong team, and it should have. I don't know, but it was. So I'm just so tired, right? Because I'm someone when I'm in another city, I am trying to do everything right. If I'm at home and it's Sunday morning, I'm oh, okay, I guess I can sleep in. And when I'm in Philadelphia and it's Sunday morning, it's oh. Well, if I wake up early, I can go see the steps at the Philadelphia Art Museum before my day actually gets started. So,
gotcha.
Traveling is just exhausting for me, and not to mention running up said steps. Now I'm even more exhausted.
Yeah.
It was a good time though because the wedding just happened to be the same weekend as WrestleMania, and this is the first time I've ever been to Philly. So that was it was insanely good people watching. Trying to see people and decide Philadelphian or wrestling fan. Not that those are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer there is yes.
That feels like a Venn diagram where there's very little separation between the two circles.
There's
kind of an eclipse in and of itself, right?
That's correct.
Having never been to Philly before and seeing it for the first time, I get it now, right? I've only ever heard stereotypes about Philly. But just haven't seen it for myself. It's yeah, okay. This feels like where you would swim in a dumpster, right? I mean, I took SEPTA, and I took the Broad Street line to Jason Kirk's book signing on Friday night, and I was wow, because I feel I've seen subways in other cities, and I feel the Philly subway was something else. There were places where I was damn, is this the right way to go? Because this doesn't even feel like it's somewhere where people should be. This feels like it should be some back alley for only employees or something. And
SEPTA is very liminal. I will say that even considering the fact that I was once in a SEPTA elevator that was just wow, this is a lot of human pee, it is still not quite as gross as the L in Chicago. So shout out to Chicago for that.
I've never been to Chicago either. So maybe that's why. But just looking at how many of the stations, because when you take the subway in New York City, you see most of the stations have the wheelchair icon next to them where it's it's not perfect. There are still some stations that are not accessible yet, but it's a good portion. And then there's being on SEPTA and seeing it's wow, there's very few accessible stations here. It's just, I don't know, it's a different thing. I really liked Philly though. I sounds like I'm trashing on it. No, I loved it. I felt like it had a lot of character. It reminded me of what if New York City wasn't all super self-important and full of investment and the banking capital of the world. What if a city like that, but just a regular old city that just is doing its thing, There
you go. Pitt Girl, how are your clouds?
My clouds did not fuck off.
That sucks.
I mean, of course they didn't. It's upstate New York. I was in Rochester. Rochester was lovely. Rochester was great. 10 out of 10. I am just annoyed deeply that Saturday and Sunday were gorgeous. I was on the roof at Genesee Brewing on Sunday. Not a single cloud, looking at the sun where it would have been had the eclipse happened on Sunday. Gorgeous, amazing. Monday arrives and it's just like clouds everywhere. We even looked at the local weather guy's forecast and drove. I actually I experienced totality without actually seeing anything, except for I did see the 360-degree twilight, which was cool.
Oh yes.
And it got dark and it got cold and all of that, but we didn't get to actually stare at the sun. From the campus of SUNY Geneseo, because we drove southeast or southwest in the hopes of the clouds being thinner, and they weren't. But shout out to the SUNY system, home of a high quality, affordable education in the state of New York.
That's a pretty campus too. I've been up there.
It was really cute. And my friends that obnoxiously Pit Boyfriend and I stayed with have a really cute dog, and they brought the dog. And there were so many college students who were so excited to see Lola. She was a little celebrity.
Oh. Andrew, did you try to see the eclipse?
Yeah, I'm here in Central Ohio, so it was also cloudy, and so I had basically the exact same experience as Pitt Girl. Where on Sunday I was out and about. I was like, man, this is a beautiful day. Hopefully it holds off, and no, did not. It did get dark and then got light. That was really cool. But then I went outside and it was just that, like, if anybody listening is from the Midwest, it's that haze that we're all in, like at all from basically October to May. And then it's sunny for like 3 months. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was not that far from Columbus, and we kind of had like those clouds where it's like they're super high up in the sky and they just maybe like tint the sky a little bit. Like it still looks blue. It's like a little bit of a bluish gray. And like we still got like a really good view. And like we weren't that far. We were like towards Lima, but like maybe like an hour that way, and it was good. So that's interesting that that was not your experience.
Commish, how were the clouds in San Antonio?
They were everywhere. It was just endless amounts of clouds. I got maybe about a toenail of the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
More than I got.
There was high level clouds and there were low level clouds. So like I had layers of clouds, but like the low level clouds got out the way for like I'd say maybe about 20 seconds. And we got to see like a toenail, like just basically it looked like a crescent moon eclipse. Basically, we just got to see that part and we got to see it. The cool thing though is I got to go to my kiddos' elementary school and we're like watching it outside in the playground yard there. So I got to spend time with the kiddo wearing the lovely glasses, which it was fun. I do want to say like we had the one I think it was in October.
Yes.
Yeah, that one ruled. There was no clouds. It was great. It was fantastic. We just sat in the front of our yard to see it. So my kiddo just kept saying, this eclipse is not as good as the last one. Eclipse is not as good as the last one.
It's going to have to wait till 2099 until the next one.
I pulled my kid out of...
There's one in 2045. I'll be 50 and I'm already planning where I'm going to be for it.
Is it in this same area of the country? Where's the band?
No, it's going from like Orlando to up to it's like Oregon State to Orlando.
Oh yeah, no, it's like Northern California through the Bahamas.
Oh yeah, no, it goes right over Disney World.
We got like it's like Redding, California. It looks like maybe Salt Lake City, maybe some Reno, Nevada, Grand Junction, Colorado, Colorado Springs, Tulsa, Little Rock.
Ooh.
Tallahassee, Florida State in the house, and Orlando, UCF. So go watch the eclipse in the home of space in 2045 in the bounce house, eclipse bounce house. Got to do it.
That sounds lit. Actually,
it does sound great.
That does sound freaking awesome. Like if you could just like fill up the bounce house, or maybe like was it Doak Campbell Stadium and. Hell, watch it in Tulsa Stadium. I mean,
we had people watch them in stadiums because I know SIU, Southern Illinois, definitely had it in Carbondale. And once we figured out that this was the Mac eclipse, as I called it, that it was going over a ton of Mac schools. All the Mac people watched their clips out there too. We got retweeted by the athletic director from Ball State, bragging how it was a Mac eclipse.
Shout out Muncie, Indiana. Also, we got retweeted by the official Texas A&M Commerce account.
Oh, there we go. They follow us now,
folks. Yeah, they follow us now because we shouted out them having the highest totality in FCS. Yes.
I will brag about my eclipse experience. I will say that I pulled my cat out of school, got day drunk at a friend's house, and literally the clouds parted right as it happened.
Oh, lucky.
And so I got the perfect shot. It was great.
Was there like music when this happened? Was it like
so my friend was blasting Dark Side of the Moon on his.
Okay.
There was an old guy at SUNY Geneseo that was doing this, and Time started playing on his phone, and it was very loud. And we at first, my friends thought it was like his phone alarm going off, and then it kept going, and then he started skipping forward, and I was like, oh, he's trying to time it so Eclipse will play when the thing will hit in Eclipse when the totality starts, which is fair. I would also like to take this moment to shout out my friend who observed the eclipse from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They opened up the speedway for this.
Also a great spot. That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, they have been promoting it heavily, right? Like, obviously, just being an IndyCar fan, I follow like a lot of IndyCar related stuff on social media and whatnot, and like they went all out at this. They had, I think it was Ed Carpenter doing like demonstration laps for the crowd, which, you know, that's cool. But yeah, I just want to say real quick, and I guess on the topic of cars and eclipses, maybe two highlights of seeing the eclipse for me. The first non-car related one was I got Culver's after, right? So like,
okay, that's
always solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I took my parents to Culver's for the first time. They'd never had Culver's before.
Oh,
so that was cool.
How did they enjoy it?
But I mean, they liked it. But the second, like, probably the best part of the eclipse for me is that this small town in Ohio so like we hadn't really like planned to go there. We just kind of got in the car. And it was like, yeah, we're just going to look at cloud forecasts, like see what we can try to drive to, what we can try to aim for. So we were just kind of like directionally aiming toward Lima, Ohio, which that's apparently how you pronounce it.
Okay.
It's not pronounced like the one in Peru.
Okay.
But
yeah, like the bean, not like Peru.
You know, we got to a point where it was like, yeah, like we're solidly in totality. The sky seems pretty clear here. So like we see something, we're just going to park and hang out there. So we park at this like baseball field, municipal park in, like I said, Roundhead, Ohio. And directly across the street in like the driveway for the house across the street is a Mitsubishi Eclipse.
It's like a sign.
Like the sports car, right?
It was totally a sign.
No, so what was cool about that, and it was like just like all the people there, you know, obviously like we just kind of parked, we didn't know any of them. Like, it's rare that I've seen such a like dad jokes flying like the way moths flock to a lamp.
Gotcha.
Like just the amount, like, whoa, like check out the eclipse, like, you know, the whole time, right? Like the eclipse itself lasted for like 2 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, totality was only like 4 minutes, but like the 2 hours for the whole process itself, and like that whole time, man, just jokes flying about the car across the street.
Perfect. I will say that I got lectured by my child because every once in a while I had my glasses on and the sun would go behind some clouds, but you could still see it. And so I just pulled my sunglasses down, or my eclipse glasses down, and looked up. And I would hear, "Dad, you're not supposed to do that." So my kid is a buzzkill and a narc, and I really hate it.
Are you one of the ones who Googled why do my eyes hurt afterwards?
No, I did not. The other thing that's really funny is my wife is not a space person or like an astronomy person. And so all she knows in her head is you can't look at the sun during an eclipse, but not thinking about why. I was trying to explain to her that like it hurts to look at the sun no matter what. We just don't do it normally.
Yeah.
And the kid's not going to look at the sun and when it's half covered because it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It isn't until that very last little bit. But anyways, it was funny. And
yeah, also the sun is really bright. That was a topic of discussion at work today because
how much of a sliver it could get down to and it's still daylight.
And it's still so bright. Yeah, it was really interesting also because we couldn't see exactly how far the moon had slid over the sun because the clouds were so low and so thick. But it was very much like, oh shit, totality is coming because it was like the dimmer switch got hit.
I heard the crickets started sounding. And that was cool. My friend's chickens freaked the fuck out. That's how you could.
They would. Chickens.
They were just responding to Calipari to Arkansas, actually.
Well, no, we saw.
There were Tyson chickens.
Where I was at, they had like the baseball, like the state, like the lights around the baseball field and the park, like came on, like the street lights, that sort of thing. Yep. It was super cool to see because it felt like it was like sunset from every direction,
right?
Right, like you could just like like the west, it looks like sunset. The east, it looks like sunset. Like that was a cool feeling. But honestly, I think it would be kind of funny if they got the eclipse prediction wrong. Like, how funny would that be if like all these people like drive all this way, like get Airbnbs, all this whole thing, and then they're like, no, like we goofed.
Off by 200 miles.
Not happening. Yeah. Oops. Or like there's just not an eclipse. Like they were like, we got it wrong. We got the math. We forgot to carry the 1. Like I just think that would be funny. Obviously like people would be upset, but like I would be laughing.
My kiddo said that he first had to describe this eclipse as the sun coming between the earth and the moon, and I had to go, if that happens, things have gone so utterly wrong, we do not have to worry about it.
We would be so many different kinds of dead.
Right.
Roland Emmerich hasn't gotten that far yet. So
no, he is not. I feel like that's next.
I was thinking about Moonfall a lot during the, like, wow, like, the moon's doing this, like, I hope it doesn't fall, because that would really fuck some shit up. And there'd be a lot of Lexus product placement based on Moonfall.
I was trying to explain the concept of like older humans not having any concept to my like near 7-year-old kid.
How did that go?
I know you mean our ancestors, Commish, but I'm really enjoying.
I lost my thesaurus
reading
today.
This as like 97-year-olds had no idea what was
going on. The 120-year-olds from the previous eclipse back in 1852, which probably wasn't one in 1852.
Presidential
That's
candidates
not how that math
confused
works either,
by
but
eclipse.
continue.
Yeah.
It was 1880 something, but you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Rutherford B. Hayes confused by the eclipse, but I don't know if that's right.
You
Maybe
definitely
Grover.
do get the vibes of like, oh, if I didn't know this was going to happen and it happened, yeah, I would start sacrificing shit and being like, God is very mad at me.
Like I'm serious.
Like throwing animals into a pit.
I'm trying to explain this to my 7-year-old. Is like somebody said that like like cavemen or anything like this didn't Neanderthals or whatever it didn't have any clue what was going on. I was like, yeah, nobody knew what was going on. They're just here. There's the sun, and then now there's something in front of the sun. There were some people at the time that worshiped the sun god, right? Mm-hmm. And then this is getting taken away randomly on one day, just like, and I wonder how many people lost their sight there too. So they're like, oh, what's going on?
You would tell that story for centuries about the day you pissed off God bad enough.
Yeah.
Pulled the sun away for 4 minutes.
What did we do? What did we anger God, the sun god, to have him block out the sun like Montgomery Burns?
I feel like, knowing people, there were also a bunch of people back then that were just like, I bet I could do that. I bet I could make the sun disappear. That can't be that hard.
Can't be that hard.
I'm built different.
Conversely, I am over here just reading Wikipedia pages about solar eclipses that are going to happen like way after I'm dead, and being like, "Oh, cool! This one in 2186 is going to have like 8 minutes of totality."
Oh.
I hope somebody sees that.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully, human civilization still
We'll
exists.
be all
then.
cyborgs by then. We'll be these sicko cyborg committee.
That's when we're gonna be awakened from the cryogenic sleep. We're gonna be frozen just to see that one eclipse.
Like Demolition Man. I mean, what we got going on here?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Or
yeah.
like
Like Demolition Man, we're gonna come out, and some of us are gonna be
No
trying
cussing.
to stop the eclipse, and
Okay.
some of us are gonna try to make it. I don't know.
No, it's
I love
just gonna
that
be
movie.
cloudy again.
Are we
Yes.
going to? Are we going to
What
aim
we're all
for
gonna
this?
do is gonna go to Taco Bell.
I
That's
mean,
what
this
we're
is
gonna do.
Taco Bell will be open. That's about it.
And they
That's
want
all we
the
know.
franchise wars.
That's all we
Are
know.
are we aiming for the Spain eclipse in a couple years? Are we going to aim for that one too? There's one that goes across
I kinda
Greenland and
think-
Spain.
Join
I
our
kinda think we should
Patreon
go
so
to
we can go to
Barrow.
Spain to watch an eclipse.
What if we go to
No.
Barrow to watch the eclipse?
Okay,
No,
so
We
that
can watch it from
okay.
the football field.
so that one, yeah.
Having seen this eclipse, like in totality, getting a good view of it, I feel like, I mean, it was a good amount of driving just because of the traffic. Funnily enough, like the one place where kind of traffic was the worst was after the eclipse. On the turnpike, if you're going from Ohio to Pennsylvania, there's like a toll gate, and in like if you're to leave Ohio, you have to pay money. You have to pay money to get out of Ohio, and it's that you can use the EZ Pass, but you still have to slow down to like kind of toll booth speed, and you have to wait behind everyone else that's trying to get through the toll booth. So that was by far like the worst traffic nightmare, was just people queuing up to leave Ohio.
Okay.
But having seen this eclipse, like I'm not sure I would travel a long way for one. Like it was like I did it because it was so close to me, and it was cool to see. But I don't know that I would like
What type
really
of,
seek it out again. Like
what
it was
type
cool
of
this
eclipse
time.
was this? Like, was it like lunar? Was it solar? Was it? I mean, solar, right?
The solar eclipse,
Okay.
yes, the sun
Okay.
went away.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, I was trying to figure out, like, I'm looking for like eclipses in like random remote places throughout the world. I was just trying to figure out like where there's something that's called time and date.
Oh, I was looking at time and date last night.
Yeah, okay. So
Okay.
there's a partial solar eclipse that is going to be on the Falkland Islands on
Oh God damn it! You and your back to the
October
Falklands again.
2nd, 2024. Partial
Listeners,
solar
y'all
eclipse.
haven't had to deal with Commish's burgeoning Falkland Islands war like fandom he's growing here.
That's
No,
right.
we talked about this on the show
Oh, we did,
because
we did.
I plugged for the Trash Future episode about it, and I will again plug for the episode of Britanology about Dad Rambo and the
It
Falkland Islands War. I cannot recommend it more highly.
Shout out Terry Peck, who became the mayor.
We love Terry Peck.
I would like to bring up from Wikipedia the Battle of the Eclipse,
Oh,
which was fought in
Ooh.
6th century BC in early Anatolia, which is Turkey, between the Medes and the Lydians. And in the
Okay.
middle of the battle, Herodotus said that day turned into night, and they basically just called it a draw and started negotiating a peace treaty.
see, that's why I want to know. Like, hey, man, we shouldn't be fighting here. Let's call it a
God
draw.
said, "Chill the fuck out."
Right,
The
and
sun
that's-
god said, "No more fighting."
I
We've
would
angered
absolutely
the
stop
sun.
this shit.
We got to stop this shit.
I would stop this shit immediately.
Seriously, again, 6 BC, right?
6 BC, yes.
Yeah,
6th century
so-
BC.
yeah, definitely. You don't know what's going on with the eclipse. All of a sudden, you see this happening, and you're in the middle of battle. Like, I'm fighting.
Nope. I'm
I-
done with this.
I mean, like, what are they fighting with in 6 BC? I mean, what are they doing?
6th century BC. So
6th
600.
century, so 600 BC. Oh my god. Okay,
So
what are they fighting
yes.
with then? I mean, we got swords here. I mean, we got like spears.
Yeah.
What we
Yeah.
got going
yeah, they
on?
got like swords and shit.
Yeah, we're into steel.
Um,
Not steel.
no, the
we're
thing
into
that's-
iron.
Okay,
The things that's crazy about this, and like shout out to all the astrophysicists and math nerds in the world, to me as a history person, is that we are good enough at predicting eclipses and understanding where on the earth they fall, which, like, if you take a second to think about how much math that requires, that's fucking insane that we can do that down to the degree of accuracy that we can do it for as long in the future as we can do it. But yeah, this specific battle is believed by historians, assuming Herodotus was right, to have occurred on May 28th, 585 BC.
Yeah,
like we have a specific date for this shit because we know where the moon shadow was.
That's awesome.
Several thousand years ago. That's fucking insane.
That's great. The battle of the eclipse, and we're just like, hey, you know,
the concept of May 5th did not exist then, though.
Right. No, that's the funny part. Like, I was trying to think which did May that didn't even exist, right?
It was Cinco de Mayo, man. They were probably
they were getting lit.
Sadly, it was not Cinco de Mayo. It was 28 de Mayo.
Oh,
there we go. I was about to say Cinco de Mayo is a good day to have a battle.
Well, besides eclipse news, we also have some. Let's see. We're going to call this some actual journalism here.
Yeah, we did some journalism.
Let's talk about the Renegade Dog. We've talked about it before on the show. This was the Pittsburgh Pirates hot dog.
Yeah.
It had shredded beef and a hot dog and pierogies and
it
pickles.
wasn't shredded beef. It was pot roast.
Pot roast, my bad.
Pot roast. 6 pierogies, 6 pickles, all on like a foot-long hot dog with a bun at the stadium. So this was kind of like a big deal, and the Pirates opened their home season on April 5th. And so all of a sudden there's a viral photo from like a Reddit user, which the Reddit user is like /Woozy, which, again, because the Pirate fans tend to woo every now and then in PNC Park, which I don't know if I'm a fan of that or not. So John Boy Media gets a hold of this, and it says, this is what the Pirates Renegade Dog looks like in the wild. It's a dog with maybe a little bit of pot roast, 2 pickles, and like only 1 pierogi.
But then we post this being like...
Immediately, somebody responds like, there's only 1 pierogi. Like somebody from the account, just 1 pierogi? I don't know who did this response.
It was me.
Okay, all right. And I was like, no, man, there's something's not right here, because this shit looks picked through. Like this looks like somebody's been picking pierogies, and somebody's been picking pickles, and somebody's been eating this shit. So Commish started hunting, and not just because I'm a Pirates fan, I needed to verify if this was true or not. So I decided to do some journalism. I wanted to know if this is what the Pierogi Dog is going for. Now, I mean, on top of being a Pirates fan, I'm well aware that the owner tends to be a bit cheap.
Yes.
So I'm like, hey, this could be true. The owner doesn't necessarily spend money, and they put out this amazing picture that they put out, and then I realized at the bottom of the picture for the Renegade Dog, it says Aramark Services. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this could actually be real. But so I look at the viral tweet. I start digging through the replies after I get through all the blue check mess. Thank you for our blue check Twitter.
We are the blue check mess now.
We are the blue check mess now. The most serene ones at this current time until they give us the blue check back, and then we'll change the flag. Shout out San Marino.
Shout out San Marino.
Shout out San Marino. That's right. So I start digging, and then I find in the replies that somebody says that I ate most of the pickles, but this is what mine look like beforehand. And basically I'm getting these unsolicited Renegade Dog pics in the replies. So I start looking, I'm like, okay, that clearly has 6 pierogies. He said he ate all the pickles. I believe this gentleman for eating all the pickles, because probably I would have ate the pickles first too myself, because I love pickles. So I see that one. Then I see somebody like forcibly getting upset at the John Boy Media post that comes from this Reddit user. So I'm not mad at John Boy or whatsoever. I look at this again, and this person says, did I just get lucky then? And so there's pickles everywhere, the pierogies everywhere. You can barely see the hot dog in this one.
There's so many toppings.
There's so much stuff. Like you can barely see it. Like the the one in the middle, like the dog, like he ate the pickles, and clearly this pot roast has shifted. Like it doesn't seem like the pot roast can stay in one spot. Then I actually even got video proof of the Pierogi Dog. So if you want to pull that up, Jordan, I don't know if you want to do that, but it's like a 2-minute long video. We don't need to see
I'm gonna play it, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is a dude that
It's a dude.
this is Bucko Banter Pod.
The Bucko Banter podcast. So I gave him a shout, and it's like, hey, we even got a video of this full thing. It said Twitter won't even let him post the full thing because he wanted to post like a 6-minute video, but it's clearly everything. Then I went to verify further after that I verified further the person that said they bought this actually was one of our followers. Like the second picture that he ate all the pickles, he was actually one of our followers. So yeah. I was able to verify. He said there was only one location that was selling these, and this is what it looked like. So this is the only way this has happened. So the viral photo, I am not buying that shit. They clearly ate the pierogies and the pickles before they took the picture.
This is journalism.
Just to go viral.
This is journalism.
I would like to take this moment also to appreciate friend of the show and Oakland institution, South Oakland for Life, who is mentioned several times in the tweets of the good version of the hot dog, and which at one point in time was an actual newspaper printed and circulating like The Onion.
That's amazing.
Also, I've met him, and I think Arthur has too.
It's amazing. So I was looking at this, and I'm like, I didn't necessarily, want to buy this off the top, but I was like, I need to dig into this because I really hate like viral photos like this is what it looked like, and I'm like, okay, no, I need to dig. I must dig. I must figure this out. Is this real? And I know it's something like trivial on something like this. So when you see like posts where somebody says like, hey, Coach Cal's going to Arkansas, I'm like, wait, this is a legit source. I don't know if this is real. Tyson Chicken's involved. I mean, I have no idea. We won't necessarily tweet it out recklessly for the most part, because we actually kind of verify. And again, our motto at the Sickos committee is that the truth is funnier than fiction.
Yes.
And that's what we do. And
to be honest, the fully loaded hot dog is funnier than the sad dog. Because it is just this weird combo of 6 pierogies and pickles and pot roast, and
it's a mess. I feel like it's gonna be dry. Like I need some sort of sauce here. There needs to be some sort of sauce. Like I need a little drizzle of the sauce.
Do you know how much they're charging for this?
Yes.
It is $23 dues.
Wait. The Renegade?
Yeah.
I saw the price was only $14.99.
Oh, is it? Okay, maybe I have the wrong thing.
We discussed that on the podcast.
Yeah, we literally just talked about this.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
This is a new record for Squirrel Brain.
Wow, no, sorry. I read something else. My bad.
I'm just going to clarify this too. I apologize to all Nebraska fans for not realizing that Jordan like basically did the goldfish brain and saying they lost 13-10.
3 times.
3 times.
I forgot they did
this. He had forgotten that. I was like, dude, don't bring that up. We're doing the game of the year bracket anyway. By the way, the championships is going to take place between the invalid fair catch and the refusal to kneel. Miami. That's the title game.
It was always going to come down to that.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
That is
really tough.
That is the refusal to kneel. I will not bend the knee. Mario Cristobal, commemorative clock commander of the year. And that's the award now. He got it off of that.
Eternal Clock Commander for life.
Mario Cristobal.
We named the award after him.
We did. We need a graphic for this, by the way, for next season. I'm just going to say that.
In the style of Kim Jong-un, please.
Gotcha.
Just him with his arms crossed, with his muscles bulging.
Yeah.
We refuse to kneel. But versus the invalid
headset like ear on his neck.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean in the style of Eternal President Kim.
Hey, wait, well, hold on. Mario Cristobal is in Miami. Can we make it a little bit like Castro style?
I mean, I could.
Miami
do
doesn't really like.
I know
that seems racist.
It's like a great way to piss off like the entire Miami metro area. But I like that you're leaning into Jordan's tendency to prod the Balkans, but somewhere else in the world.
Yes. What is the American Balkans but Miami and South Beach?
Don't do that. Don't anger people. That's fine. Do whatever style you want.
Don't anger people.
Again, we're the Sickos committee, and it's just like I feel like we start with 2 strikes against us automatically
That's why
anytime
it's
we
fun.
post. And this is fun. It's just like, oh god, we're already down 0-2 in the count. Here's the tweet. Oh damn, we struck out again.
So I have a question, because tonight we talked about if the cold open is where I think it's going to be, that Penn State's crowd for baseball ate something like 6,100 hot dogs. Oh, their dollar dog night. And hot dogs are one of those things that I have an infinite stomach for. And I'm trying to think about the number of dogs I could eat in 9 innings. Not with the beers, because I've seen the 9 and 9 challenge, which is 9 beers and 9 dogs. The beers will get you because it's just a liquid.
Yeah, I mean,
but like, if we're just talking
yeast, man. It's
if we're just talking about dogs, I feel like I could eat a dozen dogs, like easily.
All right, are you going like straight? First of all, like you want the dozen dogs. Give me your condiments on the dog. Are you just straight dog and bread?
I mean, some mustard, maybe some mayo if they got it.
What?
Can I give a report here?
Okay.
You
We got a report.
The Columbus team here has a dime dog night.
Okay.
So
The Blue Jays.
your boy has eaten 13
in loving
hot
memory of
dogs.
10-cent beer night.
13 hot dogs and
they're pretty small.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
they're
small.
they're like normal size. Like those dollar dogs are like normal dogs. I
They're-
could
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
do it.
fine.
I could definitely house a dozen. I could.
They're
Definitely.
not like the foot long dogs at
No,
all.
no, no,
They're
no,
like
no.
They're
God,
like the
like
normal
kitty,
size
like
dog.
kitty dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Renegade dog, you could probably have like 2 at the
Okay. Yeah, I
most.
couldn't do that. But
That's
I'm talking
a
about
lot
just like
of
dollar
stuff.
dog.
Dollar
night.
dog night. They're tiny, whatever.
I could knock off a dozen. Like they're like sliders to me. I could definitely knock off a dozen sliders.
I feel like you're overselling the smallness of Dollar Dog Night hot dogs.
I'll take a photo next game I'm at.
They're small.
But I am also
So small.
I am a relatively small person. I feel like I would top out at like 5 maybe.
I did. So this was not at a stadium. So these are not dollar dogs. These were 2 for $1 dogs from Sheetz.
Okay.
But I did after the, I think, 2018 ACC championship game. I did a video where I ate a hot dog for every passing yard Pitt had
Oh no.
in that game.
No.
So I
There's
know
not
I can
very
eat at
many
least
hot dogs.
8.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it? What is
That
it like?
ACC championship game did not go well.
I feel like I can
it
eat
didn't.
like a pack of hot dogs, but like what's in the pack? Is it like
It's
Is it-
12
no?
or 10 maybe.
Is it
No,
like,
a
is it
pack of
8
hot
or
dog
10?
is 10.
It's
A
10.
pack of hot dogs is 10.
And it's
Pack of
8
buns is
buns?
8.
and the buns are 8.
Okay. I can
Marketing
confidently finish a pack of buns. I can do 8.
Okay.
I'll say that.
So you can finish the pack of hot dogs, but not the buns. You get or wait, yeah, no,
I
I
can
got it
finish the
backwards. Never mind.
buns,
Yes.
but I can't finish the.
And
Unless they're
I'm not talking about Kobayashiing this thing or like
No.
dunking the dogs in liquid. I mean just like eating hot dogs like a human
Over
being
like a
does.
3-hour time frame, I think I
Yeah.
could do 8.
The 9 and 9 challenge issue is the 9 beers. By far that's the biggest challenge.
No,
Because
it's just-
that's the
can't
amount
do
of
it.
liquid in my stomach.
No.
I'd have to boot and rally, and no one wants me to do that at a game.
Woof.
And so, right.
I don't know if that counts if you do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, at the professional
Eliminated.
level, it does not. At the professional level, it does not. But I am an amateur eater, not a pro.
Yeah,
Love
I
the
feel
man.
like to do the 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, like I feel like that's something I would have to train for, and that just feels like a really weird thing to put training into. Like if I just happen to be in the sort of place where I could just drink 9 beers easily, like yeah, like I'd do it, but I'm not about to train myself up, be like, yeah, like gotta get my alcohol tolerance super high for this. Like, gotta get really good at, chugging. Like, I'm like, that just feels like something that I shouldn't do intentionally.
I'm trying to think of. There was a game I used to play in college called Castle Wall, which was a version of beer pong where you would have from side to side on a ping pong board. You'd have 1 row of cups, 2 rows of cups, and then turrets on top between every other cup. And so that would have been like had to have been. It wasn't a full case of beers, but it was a lot. I would drink that over the course of like an hour or two, just playing. But I was also 20, so that might have been the reason.
Probably the reason.
It's a little bit different. Okay.
Beth, how many beers could you drink in one setting, and how many hot dogs could you eat in a setting?
Well, start with
doing the 9-9.
Start with hot dogs. How many hot dogs could you eat?
How many hot dogs could you eat during an Altoona Curve game?
So, are we saying like now, in the year of our Lord 2024?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In the year of our eclipse.
Hot dogs. I could probably eat 12 in a 9-inning game.
Thank you, Beth. I went with a dozen as well.
Keep in mind, listener, I'm a snake. I basically will eat a small antelope every few days.
I love the idea of you just unhinging your jaw and consuming all 12 hot dogs at once.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm told it kind of looks like that. Although you were at a thing where I ate a lot, so.
Yeah, Beth does not eat for a while and then goes to Sheets and just sort of breaks them.
Yeah, friends. Like
that's what Sheets is for.
This is not like an eating disorder thing. Like this is not a body image thing.
It's a musician thing.
This is I'm a musician and I have ADHD and I will hyper focus on something so hard for multiple days that like I will forget that I have not eaten at any point.
I've been there. Yeah, been there.
These poor fools have had to watch me on a podcast before where it's just like I'm inhaling 8 people's worth of food while we're attempting to record, which I'm going to do right now. Bye.
So Beth,
excellent.
Wait, before you go, how many
is it 12 hot dogs?
How many beers in 9 innings?
Oh, that's not nearly as many. I don't drink like I used to.
I mean, like not from a drunkenness standpoint, but like a liquid standpoint.
Yeah, no, like it'll start to really mess with my head. Like just how much liquid could I drink?
Yeah, like that kind of liquid. Yeah.
I could probably hit 72 ounces.
Okay. Pretty good. Yeah.
I
could do that and the hot dogs. The hot dogs are going to take up some of that liquid space. So probably if I'm eating that many hot dogs, like 32 ounces is the most I can handle.
I could do the 8 and 8. I will have trouble closing the game.
You remember that show Man vs. Food?
Yes.
Yes.
Where you got to watch that poor guy get
time out.
Like over the course of
hang on. He would give the food away after describing the challenge.
No, he would eat it.
No.
In the early episodes he would.
But he started not being about it.
Yeah, no, he switched to an thing called the show got changed to like men versus food or people versus food because his body was
his body was
decaying in front of us.
Yeah, he could not physically do it anymore. He was not built different, which I
could have just watched Super Size Me and learned the lesson.
I mean, totally.
I was watching an episode and I was like, man, is he going to be able to do this? And he's like, who wants some? I'm turning off the TV.
No, because there are episodes where you can see him in real time regret the choices that have put him in this position.
Yes. I remember there was one, I think he went to San Antonio and he tried like a ghost pepper burger.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Halfway through it and he was just like, I've been to that place and
you had to wear gloves to eat it.
You have to wear gloves to eat. Also, they have like one of those like chemical eye washes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you're at a burger place and you're wearing gloves to eat it. And then like if you accidentally like rub your eye because like, with the glove, you have to go to the chemical station and like like you're in chemistry class and you got like over a freaking burger.
I think at some point, maybe I want to say like mid 2000s, we stopped doing these eating challenges. Like at some point, like people just
I feel like
restaurants stopped doing this.
No, I feel like every once in a while I'll be in a restaurant and I'll see something advertised. It's like if you can eat the whole thing, it's free.
Oh yeah,
like,
I know somebody who just did this.
It might used to have been more of a thing, but there are definitely still places that at least have it advertised.
So, like when we drove from San Antonio up to like Fort Collins, Colorado, on the way back we stopped in Amarillo. There was a spot in Amarillo. It was like if you could eat a 72-ounce steak.
Oh yeah, it's the Big Texan. Yeah,
that shit is still there. The only problem is like our hotel was on the other side of Amarillo, which I know it's not necessarily too big, and we had just drove like I don't know. Like 8-9 hours.
Not the problem.
And I'm like,
the problem with that one. It's not the steak.
You got to eat
Problem
the
is, you have to eat
fixins, right?
you got to eat the salad. You got to eat the bread. You got to eat the shrimp cocktail.
Oh,
What
gross.
So the first time I heard about that food challenge, I was in like my early 20s, I want to say. And I'm so mad that I didn't immediately go to Texas and just absolutely fucking dust that thing, because I certainly could have. Now I feel like I would die on Mount Shrimp Cocktail, and that would be the end of me.
It's the 72-ounce steak.
I have the
problem
rules
is-
right here. Here we go.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
72-ounce steak challenge rules. Entire
I'm
meal.
I'm watching people on a live stream eat at that restaurant right
That's
now.
right.
Hold up.
Entire meal must be completed in 1 hour. If any of the meal is not consumed, swallowed, you lose. Number 2, before the time starts, you will be allowed to cut into the steak, take one bite. If the steak tastes good and is cooked to your satisfaction, we will start the time upon your acceptable approval. The time will not stop, and the contest is on, so make sure before you say yes. Number 3, once you have started, you are not allowed to stand up, leave your table, or have anyone else touch your meal. Can't stand up. Number 4,
wiggle.
Number 4, you will be disqualified if anyone assists you in cutting, preparing, or eating your meal. This is your contest. Contest.
Cut my steak,
right.
please.
You don't have to eat the fat, but we will judge this. That was number 5. Number 6, should you become ill, the contest is over. You lose. Please use the container provided as necessary. Number 7, you are required to pay the full amount up front. If you win, we will refund 100%.
It is $72, by the way.
Number 8, you must sit at a table that we assign.
So you can watch on the live stream, which I am watching right now.
You do not get table preference. That's kind of rough here. Number 9, if you do not win the steak challenge, you are welcome to take the leftovers with you. But you got to pay for it.
Nice of them.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. Number 10, no consumption or sharing of the leftovers is allowed in the restaurant once the contest is over.
I don't know if these 3 are going to make it.
That's...
I just dropped the link, by the way, in case anyone wants to watch 4 people try to attempt this live.
Oh my god, there's like a live stream of this shit?
I told you, I'm watching the live stream.
You
Oh
said
my
that
God.
like 3 times.
No, but I didn't know it was like...
Yes, I'm watching
like,
the
as
table.
we're
I'm watching the
recording,
table
holy
right now.
shit. Okay. They're going for it.
They're going for it. There's a dude walking around with his little tablet, making sure they're
Oh
following the rules.
shit. No way. Like it's like 9:54 in Amarillo. Who's doing
know.
this shit at
Yeah.
10
They
p.m.
got 20 minutes left. The timer's at the top of the screen, y'all.
Oh my god. Like I didn't think it's almost 10 p.m. Central. What are you they gotta be drunk.
20 minutes left. There's no way. There's
Or-
no way with 20 minutes.
Or you wait until you're really, really hungry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
like end of the day.
Arthur,
He got more butter.
Arthur's
He got more butter. You don't need more butter.
Why did
Or is
he
it
add more?
Oh, it's ranch. It's more ranch.
Ooh,
flavor.
ranch
Oh,
is very
that's
important.
lubrication.
Oh my god. Let's
look at
let's
that.
keep
Oh,
this
He
yeah.
actually
going.
knows. That's
while we
actually
record.
genius. Yeah, Arthur,
Jesus
that's exactly what
We're
it is.
keeping this going while we're
Okay.
recording.
Okay, good God. This might be my background for like the next 3 years. Just gonna leave this on for full time now.
Oh, great. It's just a tab that lives on your computer now.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
it's
Oh,
another
good.
tab.
You're gonna love that.
Does anybody have like any like good shot? Like there's nobody that's close.
dude in the middle looks like he's got the best shot. Dude on the far side with the 3 on it, he's like cut his steak up. It's just gonna get dry. Don't do
No,
that.
the bald guy looks like
There-
he's about to throw up.
Oh,
They're also talking like a lot
don't get chatty. Don't get chatty.
for only 20 minutes left and a lot of steak
Are
and
there
a lot
drink-
of everything
Are
else
there drink
left.
container boots? Is that a boot?
They are.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like
a boot
it's
with
like
a le- or
plastic
that is a
boot.
boot with like a top and a straw.
Holy shit. Okay, we'll come back to this later, but there's
Yeah,
no,
we'll give you some. We'll give you some updates on the before people.
no chance in hell these folks are getting it.
Yeah, we'll let you know how they do in about
They're,
13 minutes.
the guy in the backwards hat and the chain, the gold chain, no shot. He's done.
Oh yeah, he's
I
done.
don't think any of these guys are
No,
making it.
none of them are making it.
Dude on the opposite side of the table from the 3, he's got 37 minutes left. He has the best shot. These other 3 dudes are cooked for 18 minutes.
The gray goatee guy, maybe do this.
Oh, you're right. The bald head dude is cooked.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, the bald head dude
the
looks like he's
fact
going
that
to
it's
throw
that
up. I
far-
feel really bad for him.
The fact that it's that far in and they're still working through the steak is the biggest thing.
It's
like,
not good. No.
Go through the hit the steak first. Your mouth will be very tired of chewing. You'll start to make yourself sick. Get the steak first. Go with the hardest things to chew to the easiest things to chew.
That's right. Beth is like, she's got the methodology.
Beth is so mad she didn't just go when she could have.
I am, because in my terrible cult-like youth group whenever I was a kid, at one point we had an eating contest with, remember those 6-foot subs Subway used to do?
Yeah.
Friends,
Okay,
if you
the
never
party
experienced one of these things, this was not a normal sub in terms of its general diameter.
Party
These
sub.
were freaking huge. I ate 2 3/4 feet of it once.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Like,
Like a python.
This
That
is
I
like
can imagine
Homer-
you ate like a python.
This is Homer Simpson-esque. I can never get mad at
Yeah.
you, Sandwich.
No, hang on.
and
hang
I'm
on.
not
You have to-
I'm not a big critter, so
No, you're
No,
not.
I can confirm.
You have to mention
that
the
Beth
real,
is not a big critter.
the real steak eating champion is Bobby Hill. I mean, that's one of the best scenes in television history.
Oh, when Bobby eats the steak to spite his vegan girlfriend, yes.
yeah,
Vegetarian girlfriend,
yeah. And he stands up and unbuckles his belt so he has more room to eat. This is one of the greatest scenes in television. Oh, it's so great.
See, now that Subway has footlong cookies, churros, and pretzels, I feel like you could eat some interesting. Like, how many feet of churro do you think you could eat?
I could eat lots of churro.
Oh, I could eat several feet of churro. I would like to take this moment, though, to say that, do you know how much a footlong at Subway costs now? Because I ate one today for
It's
the first time in
expensive.
several years. It was $12!
what?
Jesus.
They held out
It
for a
wasn't-
long time.
It was $1 an inch for a BLT with nothing fancy on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, they're
Subway, it was weird because they held on, like they branded the $5 footlong so hard, they
Mhm.
really hung on to that, and like their quality just went
Well, they fucked
totally, yeah.
they fucked
Like, it's
their
just-
they fucked their franchisees on that too, because the franchisees lost
Yeah.
so much money on that.
yeah.
And then people expected it to be cheap forever. Yeah, these dudes are cooked. Still watching, sorry. Before we go to our halftime and do ads, I do want to mention that the Fanatics pants are shredding in baseball as people are sliding, as you can see here. Someone on the Tigers slid into home and ended up with a giant gash in his pants. Because that's what
He
baseball
didn't
pants
even
should
slide that hard.
No.
I was watching the
Nope.
game, and his pants are just completely shredded.
It was like a normal slide. It was seriously like a normal slide, normal pop-up slide to home, and just ripped the entire right thigh of the pants.
I'm glad he was
Also-
wearing something underneath them.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
feel
mean,
like
you gotta wear sliding
Fanatics
pants.
is like misunderstanding the appeal of baseball pants with this. Like leaning too hard the other direction into the theoretical appeal of baseball
These
pants.
look like
You
tearaways.
like that they're tight? Let's rip them.
These look
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Hey, man, like
like
ripped
stripper
pants,
pants.
are trendy at some point, I think, right?
Yeah, like the pilot episode of SpongeBob.
That's me, handshake emoji, baseball players ripping our pants at inopportune times. Like that's basically it. Except when
Yeah,
I do,
well-
it's not nearly as sexy.
I mean, hey, honestly, it could be it's something that baseball players and another great competitor, people trying to eat all this steak, could have in common. They could both just completely burst their pants open.
I'm just imagining male strippers now doing a baseball routine and just ripping the pants
Mhm.
off.
And they're
Fanatics has paved the way.
yeah, they're not tearaway pants. They're just Fanatics poorly made pants.
They're just Fanatics baseball pants. Yeah.
This is such a pathetic performance by these eaters. This is really sad. I might have to close this tab.
I mean, that's
He's
pathetic.
just
You know it's
Yeah,
sad when the
now
Sickos
unwrapping the
committee
potato.
is saying
He's
you
just
can't
now
watch it.
unwrapping the potato.
Well, you
Dude,
stop
come on,
your
man.
stopwatch on me eating dinner because I'm done. So
See, there we go. If these were teachers, they would have been done like 30 minutes ago.
That's
Yep.
true.
Because they would have shoveled that food in because they have 20 minutes for lunch. I am
So
Truth.
what you all don't know about me is that I'm one of the fastest eaters on earth. Like I eat way too fast. And it is this weird hangover from having been in education for so long that I just snarf food like it's gonna be taken from me. It's a really bad habit.
My
Do you eat fast in private and in public? Because I eat
Yes.
fast in public, but not in private.
Both.
Like,
I do.
when I'm
I do.
home.
I do both, and it's awful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my whole family. We just growing up, we were all very fast eaters. So you would just see an enormous amount of food just vanish in a way that is not comfortable to behold.
Mhm. The other baseball news in SEC baseball, something happened at the plate, and Georgia and Mississippi State had a 40-minute review brawl, which had 11 ejections.
Okay,
Woo!
so it was a fairly normal relay throw to home plate, and the guy slid in head first
Okay.
for Georgia. The Mississippi State catcher apparently didn't like being touched by that guy, so he like freaked out and like stood over him, and then the benches cleared, and the umpires then just proceeded to delay the game for like 35 minutes because they couldn't figure out who left the bench. Because in college sport, in the NCAA rule is basically if you leave the dugout in this
Right.
case, or like the bench in football or basketball or other sports, you're ejected immediately. So apparently in the end, they just said, we have alerted the head coaches who has been ejected, and they never actually announced in the stadium who was ejected. So people had to wait till the next day to find out who had been ejected. from the game.
That's not even because it wasn't even like a brawl either. Like no punches.
No,
It was just
there were
like
no
lots
punches.
of shoving, but it was a bench clearing shove match that involved 11 ejections.
My favorite part was the was it 11/7, folks? College baseball account. I
Yes.
forgot what it's called. Yeah, they were just like, what the hell is going on in Starkville? And I just quote tweeted it. I was like, me every other Thanksgiving night.
Yep.
That was a good one.
That was
Well,
fun.
it's funny. It's
Very
funny
good.
to me that like the norm would be so different from college versus the pros. Because like I'm not a big baseball fan, but I know that like whenever like different sports have like kerfuffles differently,
Right.
and in baseball, in like professional baseball, right? It feels like the convention is like, oh, something's happening. We need every single person out on that field right now. Like it doesn't matter
Yep.
what you're doing. Like, oh, you were in the bathroom. Like, no, you have to you have to go and like kind of stand around on the field in a big clump. And like there are so many times where like nothing happens, and
Yeah.
you see like the bullpens are maybe out in the outfield.
Oh, that's what I love. I
and,
love
like,
nothing
everyone
more
just
than
kind of has to jog. Like it's
watching
what is-
pitchers
it's-
who are not always the most athletic people in the first place have to do actual running like across the field, and
Well,
they
it's-
always get there 5 minutes after something's happened.
Right, but it's not even that. It's literally like, okay, like if you were ready to throw down, like there's literally the other team like jogging out with you.
Mhm.
Like you're like we both got to jog out to wherever something's happening so we can stand there. Right? Like cuz if you wanted to throw down, like the other team's bullpen is right there. Like
I
we're
regret-
going to
I regret
jog
like
in
my
unison.
high school career, or like really never had something like this. I regret not being a part of something like this. I really do. I will say that my like intramural like co-ed softball team had something like this though. It was pretty great. It was because I made a catch and the ump ruled it a catch, and then like everybody like came out. There was no way he caught that, and I'm like, I caught it. I clearly caught it. And then they were just like, and then like one of our third basemen like pushed the captain of the other team, and then we almost like came to fisticuffs over like me making a catch in like left field.
That's amazing.
It was like it was one of those like intramural games that just get heated way too seriously.
Yeah.
And it was for like the intramural championship at ULM. So we beat them last year, and so they wanted revenge. And then I made the catch, and I'm like, I clearly made the catch. Here's the catch. It's totally, I did not trap this whatsoever. And I held it up, and I'm like, here, it's right here. And like I held it up in somebody's face, and like one girl like smacked it out of my glove. It was great. It was just just a bunch of shoving and everything, and it's like softball. I really wish this happened more often because like there was no punches thrown, none were going to be thrown, and it's kind of like the thing in Mississippi State in Starkville. Like nobody's going to throw it. It's just like baseball fights are just like they're rare if somebody throws a punch.
Yeah,
they kind of just like let me do the little chest bumping thing
versus hockey where you're expected to throw the punch.
Oh, yeah.
But if more people get involved, that's the issue.
They drop the gloves on the opening face-off.
That was a 5-on-5 brawl that had been brewing for a while.
It had been cooking, but like,
I mean, that's a good way to do things though. Like if you know something's gonna get heated, just like settle it, like so you can then have the hockey game.
Well, so hockey's interesting because you end up with the penalty being harsher if you, like, if I remember correctly, the penalty is harsher if you join in afterwards. Like the first two people to fight, that's considered to be okay. If you come in afterwards, that's the issue. And you want to talk about again, like being very different from college to pros. In college hockey, fighting is not quite non-existent, but it's rare because that is an immediate throw. Like that is a harsh.
They don't allow punches in college hockey.
But
that didn't stop some of the Michigan-Ohio State games I was at from being very punchy.
Yeah.
I always assumed that the rule that prevents pugilism hop-ons was mainly to keep hockey games from denigrating into West Side Story, where everyone who joins a fight makes it worse.
West Side Story on ice, but we just have hockey players.
I would watch the hell out of that.
I would too. Wait. Are you saying like a movie?
Why do I
where
feel
they
like this
are
fan
like
fiction
hockey
exists?
players, or like a show, right? Where like you go to an arena and you see West Side Story on ice.
Why not both? Oh no!
Oh, we lost Commish.
The aliens.
I guess he's
took
driving
Commish.
Amarillo.
I'm in charge now.
Oh no!
I was always in charge.
Shit.
It's fine. By the way, 6:30 left on the clock. These guys, this is not going well for any of the gentlemen in this shot. I think 3 of them have emotionally given up. While Commish is gone, let me jump to ads then while we're trying to get him back. As always, we have our partner, 7 Coffee Roasters, Bearded Brothers, Energy Bars, and Cola Goodies, and Pour More Liquor subscription. Use offer code yes, yes, for 5% off your first order. That's all in our link tree, linked on our Twitter account. For $5 a month, you can join our Patreon and get access to our Discord. That means you can come talk to us, come up with new ideas, help me figure out what schools are going to be in the totality path of the eclipse, and get them mad at me because I did not mention Southern Illinois on the FBS list because they're not FBS. But the entire Saluki army showed up and was like, we had double eclipses, sir. Thank you. I love you, Salukis. You're absolutely right. You did. Also, we have our Patreon podcast. Last week we dropped episode 2 of Prairie View Chronicles with Commish and our friend Blue from Feed Your Mascot Podcast. Our merch store is temporarily closed until we get it updated. Give us a month or so. Thank you for everyone who bought in the last little bit. Hey Beth, I have some idea for marching band summer gear. So we might, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
We have a YouTube channel as well where we throw up our shorts. Go check that out. Our Instagram. Our Sickos Substack. Commish just finished the best season of all time for schools who stopped having a football team with Creighton, which was a lot of fun. There are some very awesome looking angry football Blue Jays there. I really love that logo. Shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcasts. They go to the places that we refuse to go because they had to hear about Kentucky's complicated emotional issues with losing Coach Cal. And lastly, as always, our partners over at Home Field Apparel. Use offer code yes, yes, for 15% off your first order. And let me see if we still have anything else in the Sickos Shirt Showdowns. We still have some stuff up under Sickos Shirt Showdowns. Those shirts will be 25% off with offer code committee, but they will be gone pretty soon. We have, I think, a Georgia shirt left, Script Indiana State, Utah, Seton Hall, Vermont, North Carolina, one of my favorite North Carolina State shirts, and Colgate, the capital C Gate shirt. So if you want some of those, offer code committee, that's 25% off those shirts specifically, which you can use even if you've already bought a shirt from Homefield.
Homefield licensed Teal College.
Yes. Oh, he's back. Welcome back, Commish.
Hey, what's up?
We did the ad reads without you.
We did ads.
Crazy thunderstorm.
That was a mistake.
There we go. Okay, Andrew.
What part of ad reads, y'all? You done already?
I ran through
We
them.
did them already.
Perfect. Hey, just give me. Just want to say, like, give me some feedback if y'all enjoy the Prairie View Chronicles. Like, I mean, give me a like or something. I mean, shout out Commish. Like, hey, I really enjoyed this research that you painstakingly went through. Please give me a shout out. Thank you.
Give him a gold star, y'all. He needs it.
Something, man. Give me a
Commish
pat
likes
on the back.
stickers.
I mean, seriously. Like, if you enjoy it, let me know.
Send him a grape job sticker.
Yes.
Grape jobs done. Let's hopefully I can survive these thunderstorms. I'm trying.
Andrew, why don't you tell us about basketball and what's happened the last couple
But
days?
before that, I just want to say we really needed this rain.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to start with the thing on the dock that we skipped, which is the punt into the San Francisco Bay?
Don't forget the punt.
Oh
The
yeah,
ceremonial
let's talk about
first
that.
punt.
Yeah, this was.
I like how the national championships were this weekend, and we are an hour into the show and still kicking the can down the road
Yeah.
on basketball.
we got to talk about
we
New
got
Jersey.
time.
Yeah, this is ceremonial first punt from the Giants game ended up going into the water. My favorite part was the dudes in the kayaks trying to get to it and just not doing a great job at it. We really
he did not.
What's
have a lot of
the
dexterity.
sport that I discovered in the World Games? Was it kayak polo? The one where it looked like it was a
Yes.
complicated way to
Something like
drown.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or canoe polo, whatever it was. Yeah.
Canoe, yeah. In the pool,
Yes.
like with the kayaks, just like they would barrel into each other just
It
to
looked
get
like-
this.
it looked like
And
a way to drown.
if we were in McCovey Cove, we would like bowl each other over to get these freaking this punted ball, which I don't necessarily know why the San Francisco Giants decided to do a ceremonial first punt.
they
but
love us.
I think everybody needs to, they wanted to woo our fandom.
Now some.
They were trying to get us to notice them.
They did. It
Notice me,
worked.
Sicko Senpai.
Send punts. Notice me.
Okay, next year, April Fool's, the Sickos account. The Sickos committee.
No.
Oh my god.
If he's not going to remember this, so
It's fine.
we're safe.
It's fine. I remember
We're safe.
shit.
He's never going to remember this.
Ben, I am tasking you with remembering this.
Don't
for
remember
us.
this shit. Don't do it, Ben.
No,
Get the Men in Black thing.
my favorite quiet tradition of ours is when we get to 3 days before April Fool's Day and we're all scrambling to try to remember what we planned to do.
It was in the Discord somewhere.
No, I had it this year. I actually had stuff done.
I just
I'm gonna
not
hold on to
have.
it.
I did not have the energy for it. We're good. We could have forced it, but I did not have energy that day.
Hey, girl.
This also reminds me that Beth, I had a calendar reminder set for April 1st that I forgot to tell you about,
Oh no.
which is you specifically asked me to put it there to remind you not to accept Memorial Day concerts. I hope you did not accept any Memorial Day concerts.
Shit.
No.
Oh no!
Oh man.
I'm sorry.
Oh man.
I let you down on the job. I let you down. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
So,
Hoisted by my own petard again.
they're down to 9 seconds. 8, 7, 6. Oh no. I think it's over, guys. I think it's over. And we've hit the 0 mark. Yep.
Oh yeah, I gotta pull it back up because I lost like everything.
What was
No.
what's the portion of everything that was left?
I mean, it's a lot. I'll drop it.
Probably most of it.
It's a lot. These guys did not come close.
How's the guy on the right? The guy on the right is like
He's got 18
really.
Talking
minutes
a
left,
lot.
but they're talking a lot. They're chatty Cathys. They're not there to play. They're not there to compete. Sorry. I'm not here to make friends.
Quit
not
John
here.
and start chewing.
I would put my headphones in if someone started trying to talk to me. At this
Yes! For $72?
stage. I'm here to fucking eat.
For $72 dues? Yes, I'm going to focus it.
Yeah,
I think there's like a playlist that makes you like good at eating. Like, what would you listen to?
I would listen to Weird Al's The Food Album on repeat.
The Sickos Committee podcast, of course.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what you want. Hey, should we branch off into doing ASMR? like ASMR to fall asleep to? Sickos Committee ASMR to fall asleep to.
Apparently, that's just me when I'm on the podcast and I type it.
The loudest goddamn keyboard. I don't know
I don't
what it is.
understand. It's a regular laptop.
Is Jaw Harp ASMR?
I
I still
Yes.
don't really understand what ASMR is.
I don't know either. I just know it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand
It's
up.
like soothing sounds, and I am not searching Spotify again.
So, actual basketball. Ooh, I like that. That's good.
Basketball.
Can I mention that I really did enjoy watching everyone lose their shit about ratings, which I don't really care about, except that the women's game was rated, like the TV ratings were so high.
Yeah, they were.
Which is pretty impressive. I also will admit that, again, Goldfish Brain, I was like, what the fuck? How is this men's game on TBS, TNT, and True TV and nowhere else?
We literally talked about this, Jordan.
I know. I don't remember things. I've been very clear about this.
I just don't understand why they keep.
Get ready to learn True TV, buddy. Every year.
Do you want to talk about Impractical Jokers again?
No, but I'm talking about.
Not really.
I'm talking about. It just seems so weird to have such a big game on the station that also shows Big Bang Theory reruns.
You're not thinking about this correctly. So do you know the provenance of True TV, right?
It was Court TV.
Right, which was started for what?
The O.J. Simpson trial.
Right. So
Yes.
OJ walked that the NCAA tournament might run.
Oh, this is a really good dominoes meme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a bar this weekend. It was like part of the wedding. It was like the wedding after party. It was at this bar, and they had Impractical Jokers like on the TVs. I'm assuming because the tournament games had happened and then had ended and they hadn't changed the channel, but just every TV in this bar was Impractical Jokers.
That's what it is.
Oh, so the dude, the dude sitting across them was part of the three. It's the long-haired dude sitting closest to the camera that's still on the clock.
Oh, the long
He's
hair
actually
dude.
He's got a shot. He's got a shot.
Wait, he's all by
15
himself
left.
now.
He has 15 minutes left. He's got a shot.
Okay, it looks like is he done with the steak? I can't tell.
No, he's still eating steak.
No, there's quite a bit, but he's actually doing pretty well.
All by myself.
But now he can focus.
All by
Oh no, he's got like
myself.
half the steak left. There's no shot.
It's
he's
a better
still-
showing than the other three.
Yeah, look at how much food is left. Where's your doggy bag? I think they're all actually going to the bathroom probably because
They're probably all. They didn't take the rest of the steak to go.
that's
Are
what
you
I'm
kidding me?
wondering.
What the hell? You just
Okay.
paid,
They
like,
paid $72 for that.
So,
Yeah.
if you were doing this challenge, what percentage of the food would you need to eat in order to feel that you had had a successful food challenge experience?
The steak. I'd have to eat steak.
100%.
half.
72 ounces. 72 ounces of meat. I could. Is that that has to be pre-cooked weight, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But half.
And Andrew, what percentage would you have to eat in order to feel good about yourself?
Do we know what the sides are? I can't.
It
Even
is-
though I've been
so-
watching this
so
for a
it
few
is-
minutes, I can't
It's
tell.
a salad. It's a shrimp cocktail. It's a baked potato, and it's a roll with butter.
Okay, I think I would be happy if I ate the entire steak and two of the sides.
Okay.
In an hour, yeah.
I'm knocking out the sides first, and then I'm happy
No,
with half the
no,
steak.
no,
No. The
God,
shrimp-
you're doing
I would save
so
the shrimp
wrong.
cocktail for the very end.
Oh,
no,
see,
so wrong.
I'm eating all the sides because I'm not a big fan of steak.
So, if I'm doing this, I would be doing the steak and the shrimp cocktail at the same time.
Yeah, still surf and turf.
Yeah, because those flavors at least will play remotely nicely. Then I would be popping the salad and the baked potato off and on, and I would probably die about halfway through the potato.
So
No,
my question.
there's good.
I would be dead long before that.
I-
I am also a very slow eater, so
the steak I could definitely get down. It would be a question of how far I could get after that, which I'm going to guess is not very.
Are you having it done like a traditional medium rare?
No.
I feel like it's chewing.
Too-
You got to go
too
further.
hard to chew.
Got to go further.
No,
right?
you have to do I think you have to do it at medium, which makes me sad because I've ruined a steak at that
Like
point.
medium well.
But-
Even I'm thinking. Just
No,
chew
because
it.
that's too dry, and you're going to have to start really throwing down drinks, and that's stomach real estate you can't afford to lose.
Yeah. Oh, he's filling up his water again.
Medium is
Don't
good.
do that. Don't listen to the
No,
water.
the
water
reason
is
the reason why for me why I'd want to do the sides first, which I know is wrong, but it's completionism. It's like, hey, I have 3 out of 4 things complete.
Okay, so you
that's
feel
right.
better.
I have-
Okay.
No, you can say it's
checking off
wrong.
the box.
But for my mind, I have check boxes. I have baked potato done, salad done. I have shrimp cocktail done. I am Cajun. The shrimp cocktail ain't shit. That's done. I have 3 out of 4 things, and then this is the 4th thing remaining. Yeah, it's hell, but 3 out of 4 things done. That's just basically a peek into my mind. If it's wrong or whatever in your method, but like in my mind, that gives me the best shot. If I can finish those 3 things within 10 minutes, I got 50 minutes to attack a 72-ounce steak. It is me versus steak the entire time, and I am just going to look at that steak, and I am going to attack as much as possible. And that's what I want to do.
I've spent an embarrassing amount of my adult life thinking about how I would tackle this exact challenge. I have not opened this website at all, listener. Not once in this, because I don't need to see it, because I know exactly what this challenge is, because I've thought about it for that long. And that, if you were wondering, is how you end up having to do a huge career change at 40, because you wasted your time thinking about how you were going to win the stupid steak challenge.
That's how you end up on a podcast.
Okay, fair.
All right, I'm closing this. He's taking the smallest possible bites I've ever seen.
No, he's
Can't-
done.
can't-
He's tapped.
He's toast.
In his hair, he kind of looks like Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna. But again,
this dude has 6 people watching him, being like, "This dude ain't shit."
We're just talking trash about him. So he'll maybe one of our followers. No, I will give him, like, for taking this shit on. I mean, this is nuts.
He's
This
lucky
is
it's not a
crazy.
Twitch.
I almost want to fly all 6 of us out. Sign up for
I'm in.
Patreon. I want to fly all 6 of us out. We watch a Texas Tech game, then we
I'm
drive
in.
up to Amarillo and do this shit.
Yes.
Oh, and I die.
International, we'll do it. Pitt Girl will just
fine.
be
The
like
girl
there.
is more meat
No.
than woman
Hold
at
on.
the end.
Do we need to
I will be
fly
there.
like?
I will be there for moral support.
What about
and to drive back?
obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend? Can we get him? Would he do this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He would probably get further than I would.
Okay.
But he would be like, "This is stupid. Why?" And that would be the end.
See, the problem with if I flew out there though is like I would inevitably be in the airport, and I just can't resist my airport food. Like I would just inevitably have
So
to
this
go to
is what's gonna
Ludacris's
happen.
restaurant in the
We're gonna
Atlanta
fly.
airport.
We're gonna fly to Lubbock. All right. They have a Lubbock airport. We're gonna watch a Texas Tech game. We will enjoy the Texas Tech game. Then the next day we'll drive up to Amarillo.
Yeah, on a Sunday, it has to be a religious experience.
That's
Yes.
right. We're gonna experience God in a 72-ounce steak, Texas style. They have seasoning too, by the way.
Of course.
Big Texan steak seasoning, large, $14.95.
Straight college to Lubbock, Texas. 11 hours and 22 minutes
That's
by
fine.
air.
Jesus Christ. Okay, basketball for real basketball. I'm gonna try this. Go,
fine.
go,
But
whatever.
basketball.
But basketball is
Go-
Steve
go,
the
Pitt Girl, go,
Pirate
go.
gonna
No,
make
still
it.
just I'm still stuck on the food challenge because not only would the steak alone kill me, there is a 0% chance I ever eat shrimp cocktail in my life.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you don't do crustaceans.
Do we have
you're
to use the
anti-shrimp.
sauce?
It's
It's
fine. I'll eat yours.
That's fine.
Like,
You can
how
have
many
it.
Shrimp on this cocktail. This ain't shit.
It's not, man. It's
Let's
like
go.
3 or 4.
Get
It's
this out
good
of
ones.
here. Done. Whatever.
It's just a cocktail sauce delivery service, really.
Whatever. It's done.
And
Shrimp
I'll-
is
also
animal.
Listeners, I'll let you know if it feels like fingers.
It's also shrimp from Amarillo, Texas.
Boneless
I think that it's
fingers.
probably,
Okay, so
We
we
dunked
have
on the
we have
Indian
the,
Amarillo by morning.
we have the NIT and the WNIT. Our
Shrimp
beloved-
from
Can I break some-
San Antonio.
Can I break some basketball news first?
Go.
Oh, breaking.
Basketball.
Breaking
Put
basketball.
it in, Arthur. Put this music in here. Like this, like interrupted as much as we interrupted.
Yeah. Every time I try to start the basketball conversation,
Yeah,
got
put it in,
derailed.
and then
just
we
throw
just
it
like
in.
interrupted. Just
That seems like a lot of work.
A 3-hour podcast.
Basketball.
But really, though, there is breaking news.
Oh.
If someone wants
Whoa!
to read it.
Okay.
The head coach of Stanford women, Tara Vanderveer, retired
Oh,
today.
wow.
Oh,
Like
wow.
20 minutes ago.
Wow.
What?
Oh shit!
Okay.
There were like rumblings that this might be her last year, but like this took everybody off guard. Shout out, does everybody know Trilly Donovan does the men's basketball rumors?
Yeah.
Now he's doing a women's basketball rumors page and has named it the Skim Milky, like Skim Milky.
Oh god.
Really good.
I like that. That's
And
good.
he tweeted out the Stanford treat.
You know what's funny? Like when
hours
you
ago,
first,
so he
when you
knows what he's talking
when we
about.
first created
Or they,
the Sickos
I don't know.
CBB account, right? I saw Trilly Donovan, and I was like, "This is some bull," but it turns out to be like
Nope.
a legit
Yep.
CBB rumor mill account, and I'm like, "This is like okay, if Trilly Donovan has said something, this is possible." It's just weird because the name is Trilly Donovan. Now there's a women's basketball account. Shout out women's basketball. There is Skim Mulkey.
It's good.
Amazing.
Should I sign up for the Patreon for $6 a month so I have access
No,
to the
don't do it.
to the
No.
Discord?
No.
Oh, yeah, probably
No.
should.
No.
I'm thinking about it.
Stop it.
That is arguably a business expense, Commish.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, we'll
Can we
have to
write
discuss
that off?
offline.
Do I know how to write stuff off?
Yeah, sure we can.
Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I'm writing it off.
I'm the chief financial
That's how that
officer of this
works.
organization. We're
That's
fine.
how it
Yeah.
works. You just write it off.
I'm
right?
also the legal department. I'm also HR.
All right, cool.
Can we write off
I'm in.
eating the food in Amarillo?
Oh, absolutely, we can do that.
That's
Oh
a
yeah,
meeting.
that's yes,
That's-
exactly.
As
Yeah,
long
that's
as
our
there's no
corporate
alcohol,
retreat.
as long as there's no alcohol, we can write it off.
We'll use the
We
use
can
the
write
corp-
off alcohol too. It's part of if
It-
it's part of a legitimate business meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put it on the corporate Amex.
Look, there's 6 chairs at this table. We can all do this shit.
Yes. This is twice as many chairs as Jesus had. What if the Last Supper were a 72
Jordan,
ounce
this is
steak
half
challenge?
as many chairs as Jesus had.
I
Not
meant-
quite
I
half,
meant-
actually, because he was
I meant the other way. I meant
Come on, everybody knows the story of Jesus and the 2 disciples.
yeah.
2.5
Actually, Jesus-
disciples.
Yeah, they could only get a 2-top. It was a very busy night.
Oh God.
Everyone else had to sit in the other room.
God, we gotta take a break for the podcast more often. Jesus Christ, this is what we get.
Should we talk about basketball now?
Yes.
Take my
basketball.
baked potato.
Basketball.
Take my baked potato and eat of it.
Eat a bit.
You must finish the 72 ounce.
Take my shrimp cocktail and eat a bit. It feels like fingers.
Go, Grish.
The
Can you do
fingers
it?
of Christ.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah, it's sort of apocryphal. Everybody thinks Judas kissed Jesus. In reality, he just like bit
All right.
off an index finger.
Take this and eat a bit. It is my body, literally.
Let's talk about the NIT.
Listen, you said I could.
speaking of shrimp cocktail, the NIT was held in Indianapolis, home of shrimp cocktail.
Oh,
St.
St. Elmo's.
You said eat
Shout out
my
St.
body,
Elmo's.
and I'm the asshole. Sure.
So it was held at Hinkle Fieldhouse, and
Hinkle Fieldhouse.
the Final Four was Utah played Indiana State, and then Georgia played Seton Hall. Our final was Seton Hall versus Indiana State. It was a very good back and forth game. Our beloved Sycamores unfortunately couldn't pull it out, and their coach has left for St. Louis to coach the Billikens.
The most passive aggressive Indiana State's announcement was like, "This coach he's not accepted his extension. We wish him the
He
best."
declined our extension. That was probably like a quarter of the amount of money that St. Louis is willing to pay him.
Dude.
And everybody, all the starters are in the transfer portal. So
Oh, God.
I don't know. It's
Like-
it sucks.
Avila's in the transfer portal too now.
Yeah.
Do not contact. So he's probably going to St. Louis.
He's probably going to St. Louis. He's probably going to be a Billiken, which, I mean, the St. Louis is in the A10, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
So
basketball.
so they're in the Atlantic 10. The St. Louis is
Yeah,
not in the Big East.
St. Louis, very close to the Atlantic.
Yeah,
Ocean.
St. Louis, the gateway to the Atlantic Ocean. Sure.
And maybe next time the NCAA tournament committee should take the team that beat UConn by 15 points. That was Seton Hall, who is a very good team. Shaheen Holloway was the coach of St. Peter's, so shout out to him. They had a great year this year as well. So, and they handled the offense of Indiana State pretty well and made a run of their own. Their guard, his last name is Dawes. He had a great game too. So, yeah. And then speaking of St. Louis, the WNIT, St. Louis Billikens women won.
Yes, they did.
Beat Minnesota.
Woo!
It's a Billikens bonanza on this podcast now.
Billikens bonanza, indeed.
That's right.
All right, the women's
Nelly
basketball
must
Final
be really
Four.
happy right now.
That was held in Cleveland. And South Carolina's, I don't know if you've heard, guys, South Carolina's pretty good at basketball, women's basketball.
Jesus, they are so good. Jesus Christ.
So like my near 7-year-old is just like, he's rooting for Iowa. He's like, okay, let's go Iowa. And I was like, all right, South Carolina is a machine. All right. They have bench depth. They have they go like 10 deep. They just rotate these freshmen out of nowhere.
What was the bench numbers, Andrew? Do you have them in front of you?
It was like 38-0 bench, right?
It was something like that. I'll double check it.
It was bonkers.
I wanted to shout out two of the freshmen played extremely well.
Oh my God.
But one of them, Tessa Johnson, she had 19 points in 25 minutes.
Yes. Like it was really incredible what they did. Like, they just kept hitting. They would get open threes and they would just bury them. It was nuts. And I was just like, this is a team. And I'm trying to explain to my near 7-year-old kiddo. I'm like, there is a concept of a team. There's a concept of a player. There is the team typically outweighs the player. If the player is like so much greater than the other team, is a potential for that. Like, Iowa got out to like a great 10-0 start. And I was like, is this going to anger South Carolina, or is Iowa going to be able to keep this up the entire way? Shout out to Dawn Staley, because she is a great coach for actually changing the defensive strategy.
You mean for actually trying to stop Caitlin Clark?
Yes,
Yeah,
for
imagine
actually
that.
Trying to stop, like Caitlin Clark still had 30 points, but she changed the style of defense on her. Like who was the defender that was on her, Grish?
I believe it was Raven Johnson.
Yeah,
she played
so
37 minutes, and she was terrific on defense. She didn't have a very good offensive game, but didn't matter.
She was fantastic on defense.
Breaking news: long-haired dude
we
did
got
not make it.
more?
Long-haired dude did not make it.
No way! I'm so shocked.
No, I'm shocked. Okay. Anybody else?
By the way, the bench scoring in the women's final championship: South Carolina 37, Iowa 0.
So,
Jesus.
Seriously, the changes of Dawn Staley, doing the defense, but the defense was different. There was a hand in Caitlin Clark's face when she was just dribbling, and just dribbling the ball, would not allow her to see the court to pass at all. It was crazy. And the moment for me was right before halftime, when I knew South Carolina's going to win the game. It's 47-46. South Carolina's winning. And then Caitlin Clark is going to dribble the ball out for the end of the half, and Iowa's going to have the last shot. But Raven Johnson said, hell no. And I immediately said, cookies. Basically, she took the ball from Caitlin Clark, took it to the rim, and got it. It was 49-46 at halftime. And I was like, okay, Iowa doesn't have an answer for this. They don't. South Carolina is just way too good. They're just too good at every single position. And I'm not saying that Iowa is a slouch at all. Their team is fantastic. they missed a lot of layups, but my God. Yeah, South Carolina was just like built in every single position. And the thing is that South Carolina needed revenge for when Iowa knocked them out last year. And oh boy, did they get their revenge.
Yep. It was great. It was a great game. I enjoyed it a lot as a neutral.
Fun to watch. It was great.
And I hope that everyone involved goes on to the WNBA and has great careers there too, and has just as much fun. That's some good thunder you got there, Commish.
That is holy shit. Let me check the radar. I hope I don't get knocked out again.
We'll say. Hey, Andrew, how did the men's game go?
So what's interesting is they were kind of similar.
Yeah, they were.
Where one team has an amazing, the Big Ten team has an amazing singular force, a superstar, and some nice players around them. But the other team is just a juggernaut. And folks, UConn is pretty good at men's basketball. Now they have back-to-back championships. They lost 2 players to the NBA, had to bring in a transfer, some freshmen. They had to develop Klingon, the big guy, and they still won. They only lost 3 times all year. They dominated the entire tournament.
I think their point differential
was like, yeah, they won by at least 15, I think, in every game, which is the first time that's ever happened. I think the point differential was 165. I could double check
one of the highest in the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's one of the highest ever. And what really impressed me, I mean, the offense is excellent, but the defense, the way that they were able to guard Edey was, I mean, he had his, but they also closed out to the shooters. I think Purdue only attempted 6 threes the entire game.
That was crazy. By half, they'd only attempted 1, I think. It was crazy.
And
I didn't even watch a whole lot of this game, and I am not a basketball expert, right? But you can tell just that they were you could tell that they were defending really effectively because Purdue's shot selection looked like shit. And I again am not a basketball expert.
They literally just did not know what to do because their usual strategy is get it into Edey, maybe set a screen, do pick and roll, whatever. And then if he gets doubled, he'll pass out to someone that's open, or they'll find the open person around the outside. Or if he's singled, he'll just go up. But by the middle, by the second half, he was being singled more than he was being doubled, but he was panicking and going fast, which makes sense. I mean, they're down 9 points. They're down 11 points. He's like, oh, I got to score. I got to be the guy. And when he would kick it out, the guys weren't open. I mean, 2 of their really good scorers who put up some points, Fletcher Lawyer and Mason Gillis, they didn't score at all. They had 0 points in the game. It's just insane.
Watching UConn try to set their pace and force Purdue to play their pace was great to watch because it started pretty close. Purdue UConn couldn't get separation in the first 10, 15 minutes. And then you started seeing it open up and Purdue looked tired.
Yeah.
And UConn
it was the same.
Blew.
It was the same game script as a lot of their other performances this tournament where they had the thing where they had a 30-0 run against Illinois where it was close in the first half and then they just kind of shot out like a cannon away from them. And I think what we have to mention always in a tournament setting like this, right? Because the first game, the Alabama game was a lot closer because Alabama did hit some threes. But to only have 1 day to prepare for in Purdue's case to prepare for UConn, that both teams play on Saturday, and then both teams have to come back again on Monday night. It's just impossible to prepare for that team in 2 days, especially if you haven't seen them yet.
Is UConn too dominant? Is UConn bad for men's basketball?
I love this. No, seriously. I love this argument. No. Shout out to Nicole Auerbach from The Athletic. She tweeted the same exact thing. It was just, honestly, Purdue, I'm going to straight up say this as the commish. I was rooting for Purdue. I wanted them to do it. They don't have a national title, but the way that they were trying to do it was, it seemed like they were trying to do it a way of the early NBA. It seemed like it was hey, we got 2 post folks and we're going to pass it into the post and The post is so dominant, you got to double it. But UConn was like, whatever. You got a 7'4" guy. We got a 7'2" guy. That ain't nothing. And you ain't going to be able to pass out to anything to get like a wide open three for any of your player. They only attempted 7 threes the entire game. That's it. They got 2 in the first half. They got 7 the entire game. And they made 1. That was it. So UConn had the method to the madness, and like they could take apart Purdue, but it wasn't like anything that Purdue did wrong. It was basically that UConn was built to take away what Purdue wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't necessarily like a great watch, I would say. Like Purdue wanted to, hey, we're going to dump it in. And then we're going to try to find, you got to double Edie because Edie's just going to like, you know, fill it up for 30 points, which Edie got 30 points in the title game, right?
Yep.
Didn't matter.
Yeah, he got 30. It did not matter. It did not matter. They're like, UConn was like, whatever, get your 30. Nobody else is getting shit. Nobody else is you ain't getting shit. You ain't going to do it. Whatever.
I mean, for me, like, you know, I'm someone who, and I've said this before, but like, I'm used to watching just the tremendous skill that you have in the NBA, right? In NBA basketball. There's just like, it's honestly like sometimes it feels like a different game with how skilled players are. And, you know, like in college, there's things you got to do, and there's certain styles that you can play, you can get away with. And like UConn is just so good that they kind of, you know, they force you to like, maybe that like there are things that will work most of the time and they just don't work. Right. I mean, like UConn, they can say like, yeah, like you can score 30 and, you know, these other 4 guys on the floor, they aren't going to be enough. But, you know, it's just compared to the tremendous skill on display in NBA games. Like it's just a different game, you know. Look at the skill.
What?
Yeah.
What?
We just watched
the
Bulls. Just watch the Bulls clip of
the Bulls
guy.
basically like tried to double dunk and they totally missed.
Pitt Girl, I need to send you I'll drop the picture in the chat of the face of the guy as he's going up.
Yeah, it's
the best part of
I did see that today.
Yeah,
the best part of this segue was that Andre Drummond is involved in it. And he went to UConn, so
there we go.
You know, bringing it all home.
Perfect.
Now,
should we talk about Coach Calipari?
Can we talk about?
Chickens?
Of course.
Can we talk about how SMU caused this whole problem?
Look. So I want to just say this off the top. Somebody that listens to our podcast mentioned in our Twitter mentions was like, of course, this Coach Cal news would drop in the middle of when you were supposed to be recording.
Of course.
So on like Sunday, we're supposed to be recording. We're like, Beth is out, you know, Pitt Girl's out, Arthur's out, and essentially Jordan and myself were stationary. And we're like, no, we don't necessarily take any days off of the podcast. But like, hey, let's do it. Let's take some time off. We didn't take time off for the Easter Sunday. Let's go ahead and do this for the eclipse.
This is the holiday we were all celebrating.
This is the holiday that the Sickos committee wants to take. There's an eclipse. It's not happening.
And we'll take off our next podcast in 20 years.
In 2045. We're going to Disney World, and we're going to be drunk as shit at Epcot, Canada. And that's what we're going to be doing.
This presupposes you can drag my ass out of Morocco, which will take some doing.
All right. I will wheelbarrow your ass out of Morocco, Beth.
Okay.
But still, like, totally, whatever. I will bring the stroller that I have now. I will save that shit for this shit in 2045. But really what I want to say is just like, I've lost my train of thought. Fuck it. I'm done.
Wow. Yeah. You're all
forgot where I was going. I told you
train
this
has
fucking
derailed.
rum drink was strong as shit. But all right,
you're gonna go with the SMU thing?
Okay, let's go to SMU. Tyson Chicken, Sunday night. There we go. I'm back on track, folks. I am back on the monorail. What did I do? Nothing at all.
So
Didn't I? Didn't I?
So it ends
All
up
right,
happening. Go.
Didn't I?
Do you want me
I'm
to do it?
smart.
Go,
You wanna
Andrew.
do it?
Andrew, please, for the love of God, do this.
Okay, so we can probably go further back than this, but let's start from here. So SMU AAC team, men's basketball, they're in the NIT. Oh, it always goes back to the NIT, of course. Shout out to Never Made the Tournament Club, who originally tweeted this out and inspired this segment, I guess, of the show. I'm going to read his tweet. SMU blew a 15-point second-half lead to Indiana State in the first round of the NIT less than 3 weeks ago, and now John Calipari is taking the Arkansas job. So SMU, 2 years of Rob Lanier, they're apparently unhappy with him. They're going to the ACC. They want to make a splashy hire. They fire him after that game, like a few days later. They hire Andy Enfield, who was the coach at FGCU when they beat Georgetown and were Dunk City back in the day. He was the USC coach. He left USC. They did not have a good year this year. Bronny's in the portal. So he's gone. So now the USC job is open. Eric Musselman, takes from Arkansas, had a bad year by all intents and purposes this year. They were under 500 in basketball. That's never a good sign. He gets hired at USC. He takes the USC job, gets out of Dodge before, I guess, beats the posse out of town is the proverbial metaphor here. So now the Arkansas job is open. The Kentucky job, Mitch Barnhart had already tweeted out he's not leaving. We had our conversation postseason after the Oakland game. Shout out Jack Oakey. They already had their chat. However, Kentucky, they had a good year in the regular season, but another loss to a double-digit seed. People aren't so happy about that, I would imagine. And Coach Calipari and the Tyson CEO, I don't remember his first name, they're buddies. So he gets hired at Arkansas. Did everybody see the tweet of him walking his dog down the street in Lexington?
Oh,
yes, I
It's
did.
one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Seriously, it was like the local Lexington news trying to get a quote from Coach Calipari while he's walking his dog, and there's like a stroller involved, but the dog is not in the stroller. I
So
love
Coach Cal
everything.
is pushing the stroller,
Yes.
and the dog is walking behind
Yes.
him, not on a leash.
No.
What did the dog
But-
have to say? That's what I want to know.
It's been a rough week for that dog. Very rough.
Dumb.
Done.
Sorry. So sorry. Who put that this is like Scott Satterfield? I'm tempted not to compare Coach
No,
Calipari.
I'm gonna do it. I'm doing this shit.
Scott Satterfield
It is
hasn't won
the
a national
Scott
championship,
Satterfield
Commish.
situation. I'm
He
doing it.
hasn't won a national championship, though.
I don't care. This is a Satterfield situation. This
Not
no.
quite. Not quite.
He was
No,
not.
I don't
this
think it
feels
is.
like if James Franklin had actually managed to get out of Happy Valley,
Or
No.
won a
except that he
national
hasn't actually
championship.
gotten out yet.
No. I'm gonna say this again. Like this, the Satterfield situation, my definition of this is that the coach is leaving before he gets fired. That is my definition. So if he is avoiding the last year of his whatever tenure that's going to happen. If it doesn't go well, he's going to be fired. That is my definition of the Satterfield situation. And if Satterfield stayed at Louisville and he did not have a good year, he was going to be fired. If Cal stayed at Kentucky and did not have a good year or got eliminated by another double-digit seed, he was going to be fired. That is my interpretation, and that is my definition of
So
the
he goes to
Satterfield
Arkansas?
situation. Yes.
And Kentucky hires Rick Pitino.
What the
Oh
fuck? What the
God.
fuck is wrong with you, Beth? What the
Why
fuck?
did
We should
you
just
speak that into
fuck
we
is-
should just end the podcast
What
right
the fuck
there.
is
Ugh.
wrong with you? Good God.
What? I fixed it.
Oh, that's
You're welcome.
Well, I guess we have to talk about bowling, but
oh, I mean,
tempted to.
no, it's fine.
tempted to
We
end it
can,
right
we can
there.
just drop it there. We have to talk about bowling. The only thing I want to say
No.
about bowling is Conference USA is great.
Honestly, no. What's happening right now is that typically what is rumored is that Cal's going to Arkansas, and now the coach of Baylor, Scott Drew,
That's not
is
rumor.
going
at
to
this point.
Kentucky.
I thought that was locked in.
Yeah, him and Mitch Barnhart are like friends, like they know each other.
So
So
the coach of Baylor.
Baylor fans are losing their shit tonight, by the way.
They are losing their shit right now. And so this is kind of happening because of SMU. And this is kind of like Baylor and SMU are pretty close. Not as close as like Baylor and TCU.
What are you talking about? Or that Baylor and SMU are close?
Emotionally close. They're in love.
I mean,
proximity-wise?
That's a very over-the-clothes kind of love. Hand stuff above the waist kind of love.
But I'm just saying.
I don't like that. That comparison actually irks me more for some reason.
It does, right?
I'm not like an SMU fan.
Would it be worse if you were like a TCU fan? Or is it better?
I mean,
It's pretty funny if you're a TCU fan.
Yeah, a TCU fan, you're just laughing your ass off
because you're getting a very good coach out of the conference. Like this helps a ton for Big 12. Like you're getting a very good coach out of the fucking conference.
Jamie Dixon supremacy. We like to say.
That's right.
Pitt fan.
Even though he takes timeouts with like 5 seconds left in a 20-point game for make a point.
Andrew,
yeah, it's fine.
How far back?
He did that like 3 times this year.
Listen, the clock was sleepy.
Andrew, can we go?
He also still out here turning purple on the sideline, way out of the coach's box.
Has to match the team colors.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, can we go past SMU in terms of like where the dominoes start? Like what's further back than that?
Well, the fact that SMU's leaving the AC for the ACC. This NIT thing that I started with, because shout out to Never Made the Tourney Club. The fact that Indiana State wasn't in the NCAA tournament. The fact that Drake beat Indiana State in the regular in the final. Shout out Arch Madness.
Oh, that's right.
What else?
That's right.
Drake did it. It's all Drake's fault. Blame the rapper too.
You know when that hotline bling.
I assume Drake is also moving to.
Yeah, he's in the transfer portal.
I assume he's going to Fayetteville as well.
Yeah, he's calling the pigs.
Sorry.
Okay.
He's going to incorporate Woo Pig Suey into a lyric. It's going to be weird.
Have you guys all seen the clip of Harry Styles calling the Hogs? Harry Styles?
Yes, it's great.
Amazing. I was told I have to call the Hogs. It's very funny.
What would happen if I called the Hogs?
Before we get out of here.
I mean, we can just do this because it's all Drake's fault, We can call it Hog's Plan.
No, we can't. I want to mention very quickly my bowling trip. I want to just really fast.
Okay, bowling man, do it.
Hey, I went to the Arlington Regional for bowling, the NCAA bowling, and it was a lot of fun. It was one of the most chill environments I've ever been to in a sporting event. Everyone was so aggressively nice. It was great. It was weird to be in a bowling alley where my feet didn't stick to the floor and also didn't smell of cheap and stale beer and fries. It felt very weird. I know.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Are you sure
No
you were
fries?
at a bowling alley?
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Yeah, there was no fast food. There was
What?
no disco fries. I know, it was crazy.
What the hell? Did they make bowling alleys like this?
At apparently the International Research Center for Bowling, whatever they call it.
That's just oh my god, that's like MIT
Science
It
for bowling.
was apparently. So I did take a wrong turn going to the bathroom and found the weight room, which was super like filled out with all these like heavy like weight equipment. It was a nice room.
So it was a nicer weight room than the women's basketball players got last year.
Yes.
Okay.
In 2021, yes.
Sorry.
So yeah.
Time's a flat circle.
So I went to that.
Nobody
It was a
knows
lot of
what year
fun.
it is.
I got to cheer on Sam Houston State. I was trying not to make it obvious that I was not cheering for Louisiana Tech.
That's right.
'cause I just
Don't cheer for
emotionally-
those Louisiana Tech.
Right,
Boo,
so-
we hate them.
I was
We
cheering
hate
for
'em.
Sam Houston. Sam Houston ends up beating Louisiana Tech, ends up beating the top seed North Carolina A&T, and then beats Louisiana Tech again to go on, and they're playing in the bowling Final Four, which is going to be then this weekend in Michigan. And funnily enough, the 4 teams going to the Final Four are Sam Houston, Youngstown State, Arkansas State, and what was it? Not Vanderbilt.
UConn?
No,
Not Vanderbilt. Wow,
No,
that's an upset.
not Vanderbilt. It was
Dang.
I just listed it. Hold up.
Search
Sorry,
the tweet.
So sorry. So Jacksonville State. That's what I forgot. So Jacksonville State, Sam Houston, Arkansas State, and Youngstown State. Funnily enough, these are all Conference USA teams in bowling.
Hell yeah.
So Conference USA runs this town. So the other funny thing is that if Vanderbilt had gone, it also would have been an all Conference USA thing because Vanderbilt's in Conference USA for bowling.
Mhm.
And there were lots of people on our timeline trying to claim Vanderbilt SEC title, like Vanderbilt bowling is SEC
Nope.
titles. It's like, no.
Nope.
No.
That was Southland Conference last year. Southland
That's
Bowling
right.
Conference collapsed, got folded into Conference USA bowling.
That's
God.
correct.
Freaking SEC trying to ride Conference USA's
Mhm.
coattails
Right.
again.
Trying to claim Vanderbilt
do it.
titles as usual.
Stolen goddamn valor.
So basically, four teams with state in the title. Sam Houston State, like honestly, guys, when they put their name in for one of the bowling things, they listed it as SHSU. I still get to call you Sam Houston State. So these
Okay, is everybody ready for the Conference USA teams that have women's bowling?
go.
Yes.
Arkansas State, Jacksonville State, La Tech, Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin, Tulane, Valparaiso, Vanderbilt, and Youngstown State.
That's a great conference, by the way.
Two of these things are not like the
That's
other.
a lot of pretty good road trips.
Yeah, I would enjoy
Honestly.
all those. So
God,
yeah,
the Penguins are logging some frequent flyer miles.
Mhm.
yeah, Youngstown is
Valpo,
definitely Valpo too. So they're all going to play. They have a match in Michigan this weekend. I learned about how the thing works. I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but basically they play a normal game, and they play something called a Baker game. And I did, however, do a jinx for Sam Houston. They had a perfect Baker game going. Baker game is basically where you have 5 bowlers, and each person bowls frames 1 to 5 and then 6 to 10. And they had a perfect game going. And so when they got to frame 8, I took a picture of it and was like, look at that, so close. And then immediately someone picked up a spare.
Immediately they
My
pick
bad.
up a spare. Like
My bad.
you ruined
My
the
bad.
jinx.
My bad.
Like they had like 7 strikes in a row, and you posted a picture immediately. Oh no, they only got 7, but they picked up the spare. It's fine.
Anyways, it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to go to more bowling stuff when it comes into town. I got to meet one of our followers who is a dude who does a lot of the photography for Sam Houston State, used to be their SID. And he just chatted with me. He's like, have you ever been to bowling before? Nope. Do you know anything about bowling? Absolutely not. I'm just here because it's a sporting thing and it's on a Friday morning, which is how I live my life. So thank you for that. I really enjoyed it. Good luck, Sam Houston. You're my team going into the final. Sorry, Jacksonville State, Arkansas State, and Youngstown State. I'm gotta go with the one that brought me to the dance.
I'm watching the person clean up the 72-ounce steak table right now.
Is it depressing as I think it
Did
is?
those guys not take the leftovers?
One of
They
them
did
did.
not take the
Long
leftovers.
hair guy did. Long hair guy did.
Long hair guy took the leftovers. The table is like basically it's a cowhide looking table,
Yeah.
but it's like
Black and
plastic, and they're like sweeping
Goes
around
really good with the Utah State helmets.
it. It does.
Yeah.
The Mutah steak.
Those should be real.
Siri, play the loadout.
Okay, folks. I think that's all we got for tonight. I don't know what this was, but we'll figure it out in the edit.
It was a great podcast.
We'll see
I
you
loved it so much.
on the other side.